Before we start, this is a collaboration with Mrwhosetheboss, and make sure to check his channel out as he has a lot of great videos.
Anyways, this is the Untitled K10000. It's one of the most badass phones I've ever seen. Let's begin. Literally from the second I saw the packaging, I was impressed with the Untitled K10000. Retailing for just $199 US, I was not expecting what this thing had to offer. The packaging has this almost snakeskin kind of feel to it, beautiful black and gold contrast. Inside the box we have an OTG cable, charger, adapter, screen protector, screen cleaning cloth and even a hard case. But it's when I took the phone out the box for the first time that my jaw nearly hit the floor. It is absolutely gigantic, measuring in at about 14mm thick. It is about twice the thickness of a modern day flagship phone. It's huge, heavy, bulky, and for me the design is literally perfect. It's precision drilled, it's got a metal chassis, and to be honest it looks like it could quite literally crush any other phone on the market. The reason for this size is that it houses a 10,000 mAh battery. Now to be clear, that's no small feat. That in itself is actually a world record, and more on that later. While the angular edges can sometimes feel a little bit jabby, considering the size and weight of the phone, it's actually surprisingly palmable.
The 5.5 inches display may not be the sharpest out there as it has only 720p resolution. Still, it is a pretty good panel as it is sharp enough to enjoy watching multimedia, colors look natural, and it has great viewing angles and contrast. When it comes to the user interface, the phone ships with Android 5.1 and it is running smoothly despite not having top-shelf processing power. Besides all the basic stuff, it has some nice little extras like gesture controls that work great, and overall we were happy about the user interface.
When it comes to performance, we actually have a bit of a mixed bag. It actually has a quad-core MT6735 processor, which is a little bit underwhelming. In terms of benchmarks, it really doesn't do too great, pretty much at the bottom of the league table. But when it actually comes to playing games, you'd be surprised at the performance. 2D games, 2.5D games, even some pretty heavy 3D games, all seem to actually run surprisingly well. Not quite at their 60 frames per second cap, but still better than I was actually expecting. Even flipping around the UI, navigating the Play Store, doing all your day-to-day tasks is very snappy. Now as for the crown jewel of this smartphone, its gigantic, humongous 10,000 mAh battery, it's quite simply, in one word, batterylicious. In just 3.5 hours of charging, you can squeeze 10 days of use out of this smartphone, and it can even work as a reverse power bank. You can use it to charge other devices.
We have put this phone through the most comprehensive tests and the phone was literally off the charts. We run a Geekbench 3 battery test with auto brightness and dim screen features off, and the phone achieved a whopping 36 hours of screen on time and it still had 4% of the battery left.
The speaker is pretty okay. It's lacking a little bit of bass and is really not that loud, but nonetheless sounds decent enough.
As far as optics, we are looking at a camera which can take 13 megapixels images and it is also supplemented with a dual LED flash. While the camera may not challenge the latest flagships in terms of the overall quality, the images look pretty good. The colors look natural, the dynamic range is handled quite well, and there is a decent amount of details when you take the pictures in good lighting conditions. The low-light shots look okay, but naturally, they have more noise and less details. The 720p footage is a little shaky, but actually it's not bad at all if we compare it to other phones in this price category.
As a little sprinkling on the top, it supports OTG, 4G LTE and microSD card. So there it is guys, that is the Untitled K10000, and to say this is an interesting phone would probably be the understatement of the year. It's gigantic, it's an absolute Goliath of a phone, there's no doubt about that. But if you do have a bit of extra space in your jeans, then we really couldn't recommend this phone more. It feels just as fast as similarly priced competitors, its camera is probably just as good, but that giant battery literally means you can forget about ever needing to charge your device. So that's it from us for now guys. If you enjoyed this video, be sure to slap that like button, we'd really appreciate it.